Section 1.6 is all about two-dimensional figures. So first, we're going to look at numbers 1, 2, and 13. Okay, so numbers 1 and 2, the directions ask us to determine if these two figures right here, if they are polygons, and if not, we need to tell why. So keep in mind that there are four really, four different criteria that polygons have to meet. So first, they must be closed figures, which means there cannot be any holes in where their sides are connecting. There can't be any gaping holes. They cannot have any curves, so anything that has like a curved side cannot be a polygon. Their sides cannot overlap. So think about like the letter X. You see basically two lines that are overlapping. So anything that has a case kind of like that cannot be considered a polygon. And also, since we're talking about two-dimensional figures, it has to be a two-dimensional figure to be considered a polygon. So let's look at number one. So number one, it is a closed figure. There are no holes anywhere along the perimeter of this thing. None of these sides are curved. None of the sides overlap, and this is indeed a two-dimensional figure. So yes, this is indeed a polygon. So now we look over here. Okay, so immediately we can see that this object is not 2D, but 3D. So because it does not meet that criteria, this is not going to be considered a polygon. So now let's look at number 13. So number 13 is more of an application problem, a word problem, really. So number 13 tells me a rectangular certificate, which is 8 inches by 10 inches, will have a frame that is 1.5 inch wide surrounding it. So what is the perimeter of the outside edge of the frame? Okay, so keep in mind this time we're talking about perimeter of a rectangle. So we do have a formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. It is length plus plus width, or another way to put it is you could say 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. But with this one, we have to be careful. So we see a rectangular certificate that is 8 inches by 10 inches. So that is my small rectangle in here, okay? So I drew my small rectangle. That is my certificate. And then if you think about it, it has a frame of 1.5 inch wide surrounding. So if you think about it, a frame goes all the way around it. So if it's 1.5 inch wide surrounding it, it's going to be 1.5 inch from each side. So we see if I got 1.5 inches right here, then I'm also going to have 1.5 inches on this side as well. So because of that, the certificate, which is originally 10 inches wide, now has an extra 1.5 on this side and an extra 1.5 on this side. So, excuse me, the length of it, that is. So the length of it will now be 10 plus 1.5 plus another 1.5. So the length of the frame is actually 13 inches. Same with the width. So the width has currently a length of 8 inches. That's the width of the certificate. So now it's going to be 1.5 inches up here. I actually wrote it over there, but it's going to be 1.5 inches up here and then 1.5 inches down here. So the width of the frame is going to be 8 plus 1.5 up here and 1.5 down here. So the width of the frame will be 11 inches. So now if I want to figure out what the perimeter is, again, you can either add up all the sides, which would be 13, 13, 11, and 11, and you get 48 inches. Or you could say 2 times 13 plus 2 times 11, and that would also give you 48 inches. So that's going to be the perimeter of this picture frame.